Have you ever encountered someone who earns 15, 25, or even 30 times more than you, and wondered, how is that even possible? I've asked myself that same question. I remember a conversation with one of my mentors about a well-known figure on the internet, someone you would instantly recognize. I asked, "How much do you think that person makes?" He responded, "Probably around $500,000 every month." Back in 2016, I couldn't wrap my head around that kind of income. $500,000 every single month seemed unimaginable. I had no idea how someone could reach that level of financial success. But what I came to understand is that turning your yearly income into your monthly earnings is entirely within reach. Once you grasp how to do it, it will revolutionize your perception of financial success. One of the most profound financial insights I've ever had, one that has stuck with me for years, is a principle that completely changed my approach to money. It's one of the top 3 financial epiphanies of my life. The first time I had this realization was in March of 2002. You've probably heard of the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, a widely read and influential book. When I first picked it up, it was like the fog lifted and I could finally see clearly. The concepts in that book transformed my understanding of money and wealth. If I had to distill Rich Dad, Poor Dad into a single sentence, it would be this: to build lasting wealth, you must prioritize acquiring income-producing assets. People who struggle financially often depend solely on their personal labor as their source of income. Meanwhile, wealthy individuals accumulate assets that generate earnings for them. As Daniel Priestley explains in Key Person of Influence, wealth follows assets. The greater the number of assets you own, the more income those assets generate for you. This realization struck me like a bolt of lightning. I learned that generating $10 million in a month is actually easier than earning $10 million over the course of a year. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but let me explain why it's true. Think of it like this: earning $10 million in a week is easier than making $10 million in a month. And generating that same amount in a single day is easier than doing it over a week. Believe it or not, creating $10 million in 1 hour is even simpler than doing so in a day. And this isn't just theory. I've done it myself multiple times. So, how can I prove to you that making large sums of money in a short amount of time is actually more feasible than stretching it over a longer period? Let me tell you a story. A few years ago, I was flying from San Francisco to Los Angeles. I sat next to a biologist named Claire from Denver. We quickly dove into a deep conversation about the human brain and the mysteries of neuroscience. She explained how the brain processes emotions and makes decisions. Eventually, I asked her, "What's one principle in neuroscience that has profoundly impacted you?" She thought for a moment and said, "The brain functions as an interconnected system. No part works in isolation. Everything is about how different regions communicate." That idea intrigued me. She elaborated, "Think about how we apply this in business. A thriving company isn't just a bunch of separate departments working independently. Success comes from how well each division communicates and collaborates toward a shared objective." This conversation helped me realize something powerful. Principles from one field can be applied to completely different areas of life. This reminded me of The Innovation Secrets of Steve Jobs by Carmine Gallo. Jobs didn't just innovate in one industry. He revolutionized computers, smartphones, music, movies, and tablets. His ability to draw insights from unrelated fields transformed entire markets. For instance, Jobs once took a calligraphy class. At the time, it seemed unrelated to technology, but later he realized that fonts on computers lacked aesthetic appeal. That single insight led to the introduction of beautiful fonts in the tech industry, changing digital typography forever. This brings me to another principle. Achieving massive results is often simpler than attaining small ones. Let's think about a race. Imagine I'm competing against someone named Jake, an experienced long-distance runner. I'm not an athlete. I've never been a fast runner. Jake can complete a mile in 6 minutes, while I struggle to cover even half a mile without stopping. But here's the twist. If I jump on a bicycle, I can travel 2 miles in the same time it takes Jake to run one. That's when I had a breakthrough. Success isn't about exerting more effort. It's about working with better tools. I don't earn more than others because I work harder. I do so because I've discovered how to maximize my time and leverage the right resources. Let's take this further. What if Jake also gets a bike? Now, he can cover more ground in less time. But what if I step into a car while Jake stays on his bike? Suddenly, I can travel 100 miles while he covers 20. And if we both board airplanes, the person with a private jet will reach their destination even faster. This analogy mirrors how wealth operates. The reason financially successful people can accumulate millions in such a short time is that they've mastered leverage. They understand how to maximize their resources for exponential results. Most people don't grasp the immense power of leverage. They believe that sheer hard work will eventually lead to more income. But that's why they remain stuck. They're constantly expending effort, but not advancing. They haven't yet figured out how to amplify their time and efforts. Some may ask, but doesn't leverage come with a cost? That's the wrong question. The real question is, how much is it costing you to not use leverage? Without it, you're trapped in a cycle of endless labor with little progress. Many people resist learning about leverage because they're comfortable with familiar routines, even if those routines don't lead to results. But if you commit to understanding and applying leverage, your financial future will change in ways you never imagined. To truly elevate your financial position, you must shift your mindset. Focus on leveraging, not just labor. Stop assuming that working harder or longer will get you ahead. Instead, make strategic decisions that propel you forward with significantly less effort. Let's explore the 4 levels of value to understand why some people earn dramatically more than others. Execution. Trading time for money by doing tasks yourself. It has a natural limit because time is finite. Management. Leading a team. Leveraging others' time. More effective than solo work, but still has limitations. Communication, where exponential value begins. The ability to communicate and influence large audiences allows for significant income scaling. Creativity and innovation, the highest level of wealth creation. Inventing ideas, systems, and industries that disrupt markets and generate massive revenue. So, How do you tap into these higher levels? Start by refining your ability to communicate and think creatively. Learn how to multiply your efforts using leverage. The first step is simple. Decide to change. Commit to expanding your knowledge, taking strategic action, and shifting your mindset. If you make that choice today, nothing can hold you back. Success isn't about working harder. It's about thinking smarter. Once you embrace leverage, your life will transform beyond what you ever thought possible. Now, it's your turn to take action. Commit to shifting your mindset, applying these principles, and unlocking your full potential. If you found this valuable, like, share, and subscribe for more insights on achieving financial success.